TransCanada Turbines was incorporated in 1997 by TransCanada Pipeline, which is the largest North American oil and gas pipeline or transporter. And we're started basically to provide our owner an alternative to sending their equipment just to the OEMs. So they had us to strive innovation and repair and drive cost and maintenance down and quality up, basically to own their own destiny when it came to overhauling gas turbines. Our company is under license by General Electric and Siemens to overhaul the aeroderivative gas turbine product line. And what we're showcasing is basically our flexibility in maintenance, our partnership with the customers directly. So we take our OEM technical expertise as a licensed provider, sit with the customers and understand what the true problems that they're facing in the day-to-day gas turbine overhaul means, whether it's uptime availability, perhaps maybe it's just speed of response, or of course cost. So working with them, we try to find solutions to their very specific problems. So generally, what we are seeing is much less reliability on spare gas turbines. So customers are looking to, of course, shrink their spend and have less spare turbines on their own. So they're looking for maintenance solutions that are very cost efficient, but they want solutions that are faster now. So they no longer have the flexibility of many spares in their fleet to be able to send a gas turbine away for months and months for overhaul while they have spares to run in. So what they're looking for are flexible, creative solutions, be it with rotables or differing repair work scopes to help reduce the OPEX cost and also the time of maintenance intervention. Those are the main similarities we see across our product lines, both oil and gas and the power side. Well, this has always been a very good region and dynamic region for us. I mean, it's stable, obviously, economically and politically in this area. We've been here since the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's evolved. For us, it's just there's some growth still in the region, and you also have customers that are looking for long-term provision of maintenance requirements. So we like this region very much because of the long-term vision of the customers rather than individual transactions for today. I find that they lump fossils all together as one, and we find that the natural gas generation is part of the long-term solution. So renewables are going to come online. Everybody wants renewables. I want them for my children and their children, etc. But in the meantime, there's a gap, and we won't get there overnight with renewables, and you need flexible and powerful solutions in the interim. So we believe, and as do the OEMs, when you see the presentations, that the natural gas power generation provides that gap as units come off. For the long-term solution, it'll be more balancing cost of maintenance with dynamic and stable power supply over the longest term. And I don't think any one technology will do that. I think you need the flexibility and diversity across the technology spans to be able to provide really long-term green and sustainable power solutions to the region. We try to work with all the different emerging technologies, just like all the customers or all the vendors around here. Each of them have different solutions. We don't usually bring just one solution. We try to bring 5 or 6 different solutions. So for us, it's less about what we're going to bring and prescribe to the customer. More, we're going to ask and find out what they're looking at and see if we can help find solutions with them, whether that's something we just bring or whether we need to find another solution that is complemented by some of the vendors like you see here and bring it with us. But on top of that, I think we're also looking at ways to increase time between major maintenance interventions, change the traditional outlook, which used to always be maintenance at certain prescribed schedules, certain prescribed times, strict maintenance by X amount of hours. And what we're looking at now is looking at each individual customer's running regime and seeing if we can optimize, more than anything, the time between overhauls or the time between maintenance interventions, and really customize plans for each customer. And that that tends to be very well received. The technology we work with and on is fairly mature, and the customers who are using it is fairly mature. What I really see as unexploited is the balancing of the technologies together. So we have seen certain projects originally I saw some in Europe and places like this where they would have, let's say, a large wind turbine field, and right beside it they would have a very flexible natural gas power station that when the wind wasn't blowing, you'd be able to respond, and that way you have good, clean, dynamic power. Now, as citizens, we're going to have to realize that it costs a lot more money to have this type of balance, but I think what I really look forward is the conversation isn't going to be about wind or hydro or solar or fossil. What I'd like to see is how they can all mesh together, and I think with conferences and shared events like this, I think you'll see a lot more integration of the various integration of various different power technologies to work together and produce the best outcome possible. So long-term environmental stability and short and long-term power independence.